Before I'd ever tell, stone pillars crack under the weight of hell. Got a vision, blood all in the wishing well. I'm about to blow out my chakras, baby. Cause I slide, I drift through dimensions. It's not tough for me, it's too much real. Look once, twice, I'm time bending. Beam upon my chest, but I'm slipping through. Jet black, I'm masked by the night. Cold heart, throw that to the side, yeah. I'm a limit, but I never push it farther. Because I live to be a hero, not a martyr. Jet black, I'm masked by the night. Cold heart, throw that to the side, yeah. I'm a limit, but I never push it farther. Because I live to be a hero, not a martyr. Gonna live serious to keep it quiet. Let that feel, we never try it. Live a long time, make up reviving. Stay to fight it, or die silent. Sure can I hit, curse mark on my wrist. Cause all these black diamonds dancing like they don't fit. Showing on my eyes, baby, I see through the best. Village in the leaves, but I never left. Can you feel the lightning when I strike out? Try to replicate, but you don't have the guts. I feel like I'm going with the lights out. There's a demon in my body and it's calling for blood. Jet black, I'm masked by the night. Cold heart, throw that to the side, yeah. I'm a limit, but I never push it farther. Because I live to be a hero, not a martyr. Jet black, I'm masked by the night. Cold heart, throw that to the side, yeah. I'm a limit, but I never push it farther. Because I live to be a hero, not a martyr. Gonna live serious to keep it quiet. Let that feel, we never try it. Live a long time, make up reviving. Stay to fight it, or die in silence.
And we are live. Hello to all you BC WrestlePod nerds out there, and welcome to a very special NXT. You are getting a double dose of a Grapple Gurus and NXT Losos crossover show. We have a lot of NXT to cover tonight, so we're going to do our best to cover both NXT's Deadline pay-per-view, or PLE, and the show that occurred last night, or at least the greatest hits of it. Because, you know, now that Deadline is over, the road to New Year's Evil has officially begun. I am still questioning whether I want to go out there live, which I'll explain in a little bit. So, I am your host, Mikey, also known as El Jefe around the BC WrestlePod parts. And in more ways than one, for the first time ever, on the top of me is going to be Famoso himself, Will. I'm still trying to figure out how the layout works with all StreamYard, but hey, you are in the top position tonight, and you know, it's great. It's fantastic. Anyways, so again, Both me and Will are here tonight to review Deadline and NXT. Our third co-host, Macho Rodriguez, could not be with us tonight this evening, but hopefully he will be back with us next week to review things before we head to the holiday break. So before we get into Deadline and NXT, because we're going to try to keep a tight ship tonight, we're going to keep it nice and tight for the most part. But if you haven't already, if you like seeing the shenanigans on your screens, you can see even more shenanigans on the social medias where you get to see all the fun stuff, including our recap photos of the episodes of the promotions we cover, pay-per-view information, just clips from our reviews. It's fantastic. It is great. We love to see it. And then, of course, if you can follow us and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok for now until January 19th when it goes bye-bye. We have YouTube. We have Twitch. We are looking at Blue Sky. We have merchandise to link in the description below. It is a good day for BC WrestlePod fans all over the place. All right, now that I've done all the good stuff, let's get into the reason why we are actually here this evening. And we have a double dose of NXT. We are going to start with Deadline. Me and Will here are going to go through the pay-per-view. And then we're going to jump straight into our NXT episode from Tuesday, December 10th. Because Mastermind Eddie Thorpe is not something I had on my bingo card. And we'll talk about that when we get there. Because I am here for it. And Macho's not here, so I can talk all the mad shit I want. Just kidding. Anyways, alrighty. So let's begin with Deadline. So Deadline came to us from Minneapolis, Minnesota on Saturday, December, let's say 6th or 7th. I don't know. Time is a blur. It's been days ago. Doesn't matter. But Deadline kicks off with our Men's Iron Survivor Challenge, in which we had Javon Evans, Wesley, Nathan Frazier, All Ego Ethan Page, and what was supposed to be Eddie Thorpe was not the case, because we'll talk about him in a little bit, because the fifth and final person came out. But again, for those of you who are not familiar with the rule set of the Iron Survivor Challenge, 2 superstars start in the ring together, and then every 5 minutes, I think. Yeah, every 5 minutes, a new superstar will come in until all 5 are in the match. The way that you're supposed to win this match is whoever has the most pinfalls after a 25-minute timeline is declared the victor. And you can get a pinfall by submission, knockout, or, pin attempt. And the person who does the pinning or does the submission gets the point. And the person who got pinned or tapped out has to go to a penalty box, which is by the commentary desk for for some time before being allowed back into it. It's crazy. But again, let's talk about this. So we have our first participants in the span of the 15-20 minute mark that we got. So 20 minutes in, we have Javon, Wes, Nathan, and All Ego Ethan Page in this ring, and we were waiting to see who was going to replace Eddie, as Ava announced it at the beginning of the show. Up to this point, I was enjoying myself. I was rooting for Wes or Javon because I want to see them do great things. All Ego was fantastic. Nathan Frazier busted his nose wide open in this match because there was blood coming from that man's face. And I'm like, poor man. And then we'll talk about it later because he pulled double duty on Deadline with the tag team championships. Oh my goodness. So up to this point, this was going to be a great match. Honestly, I would have been fine with Javon or Wes. But then the 25-minute mark hits. And then we hear the returning music of Mr. Oba Femi himself. And at that point, I was like, it's a wrap, guys. Oba's winning this. There's no way he's not. I will say, though, Oba and Ethan Page gave me my best moment of the whole match, where Ethan gets stuck in the cage with Oba Femi, and Ethan's trying to escape, and Oba pulls him out like, where are you going? And just like beats him up inside the cage. So at the end of this, though, Oba Femi does pick up the victory. Javon was so damn close. If he just got like a couple more seconds, he would have pinned Oba to win it, or actually tie it. Yeah, tie it. But unfortunately, that was not the case. After the 25 minutes are up, Oba Femi is your winner and is the #1 contender to Trick Williams' NXT championship. Will, I am going to go to you with this match. Again, the text messages that day said it all, but why don't you give me your thoughts about the match itself from beginning to end and how we feeling about our winner, Obafemi?
Okay, so I enjoyed the match up until the 25-minute mark. I was enjoying it. I was like, yes, either Javon Evans or Wesley. I was here for either of those men to win it. Of course, I was upset that, my boy Eddie wasn't involved because of shenanigans, but okay. So I was taking it the best I could, and then it happened. Now, let me preface this by saying I freaking love Obafemi. I love him. I think he's brilliant. I think he's charismatic. He's wonderful in the ring. He's great promotion-wise, like doing promos. But his time's come and gone. Here anyway. He was champion and then he wasn't. Then he disappeared, for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. And then he suddenly comes back and wins. And I'm like, what are we doing? Are we going here again? We've already been here. We know Obafemi is a tank. We know he's unstoppable. We know that he's this, that, and the other thing. He's the kitchen sink and the bathroom sink together. Why do we have to do this again? I don't understand. And I know that he's a fan favorite because, like I said, I love him. But he needs to go to main roster. I mean, he needs to go to main roster. He does. He was ready for main roster a long time ago. And they just haven't done it. And he needs to, because he could destroy that place. I mean, he's just massive, powerful, and he can win the crowds over. I mean, he's got it. But we've already had it here. So I was not happy with the outcome of this match. I was actually quite upset with the outcome of this match. And again, it's no fault to Obafemi because, like I said, I freaking love that man. And I think he's a fantastic wrestler. Like I said, just all around, just awesome dude. And I just think, I'm like, why are they wasting your talents here? And I don't mean that. That's no diss against NXT. He is not, he's ready for something else. I don't know what they need to do with him, but this is not it. And to bring him back to, I don't know if they're starting him all over again. Like, okay, let's, we've got you, we took you out of it. Now let's get you back in it and get you that championship again, or what? Because I'll be bored of it. I'll be like, we've been here, we've done it. Why are we doing it again? We know he can do it. We know he can run through every one of those men on the roster. We know he's done it already.
But why though? Look, I will channel our other constituent who is not here because he disagrees with Will. I was playing Switzerland the whole pay-per-view. But Macho believes that, Obafemi does need to be presented as this dominant force, and he is okay with Oba running through the roster again as NXT champion, which is fine and everything. I'm in the middle. Like, I think that could be fun, but we just got that with the NXT when he did his North American Championship run. Mm-hmm. He ran through pretty much all the challengers in the mid card. So now he's going to run through all the men at the top of the card. And you know what? Who's to say that if Obo does win, spoiler alert, I think he is winning at New Year's Evil come January against Trick, which we'll talk about him in a little bit later. I honestly don't think Obo will hold that long, to be quite honest. I could see him holding it until Stand and Deliver and then losing it to whoever's next for the NXT Championship. So I think Oba gets a 3-month title reign and then he loses it at Stand and Deliver. I didn't say it was a good idea. I'm just saying.
But why? I mean, why? Why bring him in? I mean, and it's not, again, and Macho, I love you, man. But why? Why bring him in and take it from Trick and him only hold it for this minute amount of time? See, that bugs the crap out of me. Because, if you're going to give him the title, give him the title. Let him hang on to that title for a while. Because titles should be hung on to. I really believe they should be hung on to. And not just thrown about. Like, oh, this person will hold on for a month, and then this person holds on it for 2 months, and then this one holds on to it for a year, and then this one holds on to it for like 6 weeks. It's like, what are you doing? And it's like, now if there's some grand plan here, and they want Obafemi to be the world champion, then I'm here for it. Don't get me wrong. I think he'd be great. However, is it going to be the exact same thing that we got previous? Because if it is, I'm bored with it already. I mean, I think it's a waste of talent. If you're going to have him run for this major ass title, then he needs to struggle to get there. Even for his big powerhouse self, it needs to be a challenge for him. And because the NXT, it was not a challenge for him. He literally cut through every single person and got to that championship, got the belt, and literally cut through every single member of the mid-card roster. I mean, cut through them like wet tissue paper. So are we going to do the exact same thing on the higher levels? Because one, it will make your upper card roster look weak.
Mm.
And I think that's a big mistake. Now, if he goes and he has to fight his way, I mean, like fight his way, lose a couple of them, whatever. If you're going to do that with him, then I'm here for it. But if you're going to have him come on my screen and challenge, and literally cut through them like wet spaghetti, then I'm not here for it. It's same shit, different day. And I'm like, no, we deserve better. I mean,
Right.
if you're gonna tell a damn story with him, we didn't even get a story with him when he was NXT champion. We didn't get a story. It was literally Obafemi the Tank destroying people. Put him in something. Put him in a story. Put him in an arc.
I think the closest we got was between him and West, but even that didn't last that long.
No,
it was weird. Yeah. April and May was a weird month for Oba as champion. But
all of that to say, Macho, I totally agree with you. I think he would be a great champion. I want more. I don't want what we got when he was NXT North America. Because this is a much bigger and more important title. Well, I say more important. That's the wrong wording. Sorry.
It's the main men's championship.
Yeah. So he needs to work for it. And I'm sorry if, like I said, if he just cuts through all these people, it's like cutting in line at Disney. I'm just like, no, back to the end of the line, buddy boy. I want you to be champion, but I want you to have to work for it.
Right.
So that's it. So I'd love him to be champion. I think it'd be great because I freaking love the man.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's taking the title from Trick at New Year's Evil, because we'll talk about it when we get to the NXT portion from yesterday's show. But Oba is your men's Iron Survivor champion winner. And we move on to our next match of the pay-per-view, which was an NXT Underground match between Lola Vice and Ms. Jade Parker. I love these two. My question is, though, you had Jada beat Lola's ass every chance she got leading into this match, only for Lola to win.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, I just ruined the match. I want to talk about the match itself before we talk about... Because the match itself was, I'm going to be honest, this is probably my favorite Underground match that Lola has been involved in the three that she's had, and that's because Ms. Jade Parker is a whole different game, and she kicked ass, Lola kicked ass. Like, I honestly really enjoyed this one. This was really great.
Yep.
And you know what? Even in defeat, Jada looked strong because she didn't lose because she tapped out. She didn't lose because she got, she lost because she passed out after being put in the Anaconda vice grip. But why have Lola get her ass whooped leading into this match only for her to win? Like, let's recap the facts. She got a brick busted upside her head at the in the ECW arena show.
Yeah.
Then she got smacked again with no break this time on the go home. It's so weird to have Jada be built like this and then to have her lose. I mean, I'm not as mad about this, When we get to the NXT Championship match, then that's where my fury is going to come out, because I have some words for the booking of that whole thing too. But again, I thought this match was a lot of fun. Ms. Jada Parker is great. Lola is great. I'm okay with that Lola won, but I kind of wanted Jada to win, especially the way that she was being presented leading into this match for the couple of weeks beforehand. So, Will, what did you think of the match? And then let's talk about it. Did you think the right person won?
I agree with you. I think this is probably Lola's best match in the Underground. Because I was thinking back, and I was like, no, yeah, this one's probably and I think the reason this one was so better than the others is because both of these women were coming into this with like vendettas. I mean, like truly, like you could feel the emotion in the air, the sort of hate and, that disdain for each other. And so I thought that the match was pretty good, actually. I really enjoyed it. And I do have to admit that I am unhappy with the outcome because of how they, like you said, how they represented Jada up to this point. To me, it felt like they were setting her up for a win, because I have never ever since she has come to NXT, never once until the last episode before the go home show, have I ever been like Team Jada like I was on that one. I mean, I was like, she is like badass, unforgiving. This is who I am. Get over it. And I was like, I love that. And I would love to see you kind of take the top spot, so to speak, in this little dynamic. And I don't know. I was kind of disappointed with the outcome of this match. It left me kind of feeling, no disrespect to either of the women who were wrestling. The outcome just felt kind of not even surprising. Surprising is not even the word. I mean, I was surprised, but it wasn't not even disappointing. Disappointing is not really the right word either. It was just meh. I don't know. I don't even know that I can put the right words to it. I don't know what it was. It was just, and the match was great. It was literally the outcome. The end of it was like, oh, okay. Weird choice, but okay. Again,
Yeah.
I love both of these women, but
I feel like Jada should have won this one.
I agree.
But again, that's just me. The match was really good. I'm just like, okay. Didn't expect Lola to win, but all right then. Yeah. I'm not going to be too mad about it. Yeah. But I would have loved to see Jada pick up a win here. But neither here nor there. Both of these ladies did great. I'm hoping that NXT continues to give us Lola and Jada on television and whatever they're going to next. So now we get into the middle of our card, because next we have a NXT Tag Team Championship match. Poor Nathan Frazier pulling double duty tonight. So we have Fraxium, so Nathan Frazier and Axiom, defending their titles against No Quarter Catch Crew, which is being represented by Miles Bourne and Tavion Heights. This match was awesome. Of course, we know Nathan and Axiom are going to be amazing, but this match for me was No Quarter Catch Crew's shining moment. Like, Miles and Tavion was amazing. Tavion, like, literally throwing Nathan Frazier or Axiom, one of the two, into a suplex over the top rope into everybody, like, cleanly over the rope, like, toss that man like a bag of potatoes, was amazing. And of course, we had all the good spots. Fraxium are like miscommunicating at one part. Axiom's golden ratio still looks devastating. That drop kick he does looks somebody is about to die when they get kicked with it. The only complaint I had about this, because it didn't really add up to anything, is I don't get why Out the Mud came out during this match. Like, I don't know why those two came out in the middle of this tag team match. I mean, it sets up for what we're going to talk about in NXT, I guess, but like this made no sense. So outside of that, though, this was amazing. And dare I say, this was probably up to this point of the evening. This is probably one of my favorite match of the night. That obviously got dethroned in the main event, but we'll talk about it there. But this tag team match was great. Nathan and Axiom do retain the championships. This has probably been my favorite title defense in this more recent run between the two of them. And even in loss, Tavion and Miles of No Quarter Catch Crew actually bring some legitimacy to the group. I was like, oh yeah, I'm ready for whenever they get the tag titles because I'm ready for a No Quarter Catch Crew tag team run now. Will, what did you think about the match itself and your overall thoughts?
I really like this match. I thought this match was super strong, and again, this was like probably one of the strongest matches of the evening. And I did too. I felt so bad for Frazier having to pull double duty, and his nose was all taped, and I think he had a bandage. Didn't he have a bandage around his midsection?
Yeah, around
At
his
some
ribs
point,
and whatnot.
that's what I thought. I couldn't remember. I was trying to go back to watch it again, but I couldn't remember. I was like, did he have a bandage? Somebody had a bandage on, so it was him. Okay. I really, really love Axiom and Nathan as a tag team. I freaking love them. I think they are fantastic, but I think their reign is coming to an end. And I think it's time. I really do. I think that we're in a point where we want something different. Like, we love them, we want nothing but the best for them, but now I need somebody else now. I need somebody with something different. It's human nature. We always want something different. But and I think that no quarter catch crew. I have a love-hate relationship with them. I just don't know. It's like, yeah, I kind of like some of the members, but I really don't like them as a group. It's like, maybe the new no quarter catch crew is different than the old one. Since a lot of some of their members mysteriously went away. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. I don't know if I'm ready to support them there. I don't know. Maybe I am. I don't know. They did really well. I really did like watching them in this match. And so it kind of got me kind of like going, oh, okay, you guys are okay. You're not horrible. You're not horrible human beings. I kind of like you. But I don't know. I don't know if my soul is ready for that yet. I don't know if I can embrace the no quarter catch crew yet. I hope if they win, then I will embrace them. But
you get to see your favorite person running around the screen with them.
That's why I just can't embrace. I can't embrace them. I just
can't.
William.
I
can't. He drives me insane.
It's okay. It is a work in progress. We got this. I promise you. We might get there eventually, but today is not that day.
No, today is not the day. I am not a fan. Will not join the fan club.
Don't worry, we're going to talk about Will's favorite person in a little bit when we get to the NXT show because Hulk No Quarter Catch Crew was involved at a backstage segment of the show, so we'll talk about it. Yeah. But again, fantastic tag team match. No Quarter did really good. Fraxium. I feel like Fraxium have proven to me they are probably the best tag team this year at any company. They are amazing. And when they break up, while I'm excited for singles run for between these two of them, it will actually make me sad because they are fantastic as a tag team.
Yeah, that's like when Joya broke up.
See, that was a different circumstances because
I know, but still.
Yuya got fired.
I know, but still.
I feel you. I really
I will too. I'll be very upset when it happens because it's going to happen in an ugly way. It is. They always
go down. It's about to get crazy. Axiom's going to also be busy next week on NXT, which we'll talk about. But, again, Fraxium retain the championships. And we move on to our semi-main event. Man, I wanted you to be so much better than you actually were. I really wanted you to be so much better than you actually were. This was probably my least favorite match of the whole pay-per-view, but this is for the NXT Championship. This is Trick Williams versus the challenger Ridge Holland for the NXT Championship. Let's start with the positives. Ridge looked great, and I love Mr. Tricky Trick Williams. Outside of that, I felt that this match was in slow motion the entire time. Also, I know, and Ridge was playing up that Trick's neck got hurt after Ridge threw him through the table on NXT television, like the go home show angle. Did anybody else feel like uncomfortable when Trick went through the ropes and then they turned around his neck? I'm like, no.
That was weird. That was a really weird moment.
I was like, see, I would have been more okay with it. I mean, it did not look pretty. Like, I'm pretty sure they practiced that spot. But what made me upset about this is that had the spot been used, which then allowed Rich to win, I would have been like, okay, makes sense. Trick got caught up in the ropes. His neck was getting, scissor pinched in there, and then a Trick would capitalize. But it didn't happen because once Trick got out there, Ridge tried, and Trick was able to hit a counter to win with the trick shot. And I'm just like, why did you let Ridge Holland beat Andre Chase, be the one to close down Chase U, for him not to win? You gave him all this momentum and some credibility as a heel for him to lose. And I love Trick. I don't want nobody to misconstrue this. I will support Tricky Trick Williams till the day I die because I love him. But for me, again, like we talked about with Jada, you give Ridge this momentum by having him destroy Chase U, which has been a staple in this version of NXT for a while. You have him decimate Trick on the go home show by putting that man's through a table, only for him to lose. Now, where are we going? Where do we go with Ridge is my question. I don't understand. I don't know. Will, care to add?
I think it's because they brought Obafemi back.
I guess that's fair.
That's what I guarantee you. I guarantee you that Ridge was supposed to take the title from him, but then Obafemi came back and they're like, whoa, nope, we want that to happen. So they pulled it back from Ridge because this match felt weird. Like, it felt weird. Like, they were both told, hey, we need y'all to, make it look good, but this is what needs to happen. And it felt weird because I was thinking this is going to be fast. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be just, Ridge destroying him. And we didn't get any of that.
No, we did not.
The momentum going into this match did not match the actual event.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking it's because all of a sudden Obafemi was back in game, and the higher ups were like, "Oh no, we want him to take the title from Trick, so we need to fix this real quick." Which, if that's the case, I'm gonna be extremely pissed because Ridge Holland should have taken that belt from Trick. He should have taken it.
Yep, I would have been here for Ridge Holland title run, even if it was short.
And then I would love for Ridge and Oba to have gone up against each other, and Ridge defeated him. And then they have their thing where Oba's like, I'm gonna take it from you, and they just boom, 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 and then on the third he takes it, and that would have been badass. But I don't know. And again, and like you, I love Trick Williams, and I'll defend him to the day I die because I think he's freaking amazing. But he should have lost. He should have lost in this match. This match should have been his last match as champion. And I honestly believe with my whole molecular structure that it's because Obafemi's back.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be real, like, I think, and we said this before, Trick makes an interesting chaser. Like, I like when he chases the title. But we talked about it even during the Go Home show that Trick needs to start, adding some stuff into his repertoire, move wise and charisma wise too.
Oh yeah,
because otherwise he's not. I think he'll be okay on the main roster, but as of right now, he needs to start adding that extra arsenal because I don't want him to get lost in the shuffle. Because let's be real, I'm just gonna put this out there now because I was gonna wait until NXT, but with New Year's Evil being in Los Angeles, and for it going to be the first big show for NXT. And as we know right now, NXT, Raw, and SmackDown, the 3 WWE brands, have their trade windows open. So people are going to get called up. People are going to come on over to NXT. Everybody's going to get moved around. And I would not be surprised that we are kind of speed running this a little bit, where Trick moves up to main roster after New Year's Evil. And I also think she probably will be around for a little bit longer, but I also think we're coming to the end of Roxanne's tenure in NXT too, because I think Roxanne's ready for main roster. And I think I'm not as worried for Roxanne because I think that she's going to be fine on the main roster. I'm only worried about Trick if he doesn't add anything new to his repertoire. That's all I'm saying. But again, I don't know if this means Ridge is going to stick with us in NXT. I hope so, because I need that him and Thea Hale villain arc run. Since he doesn't have the championship, at least give me the Ridge Thea Hale villain run.
Something. I mean, and of course, them doing whatever the hell they're doing, which I'm going to say it again. I think it's because Obafemi's back. I think they need to do something with him because he is too good to let him go. They need to make sure that whatever they're going to do with him, it needs to be big and bold. Because if Obafemi is going to get this title, he needs to be the one to chase Oba for it.
Yes.
I mean, seriously. Because they need to put that belt on Ridge Holland at some point. And we need a full-on heel-dominated championship. Like, true villain. I'm here for it.
For reals. So, Trick Williams walks out of Deadline as the champion. He will be facing, and we'll talk a little bit about it, but we're going to bullet point some of it. But Trick and Oba are on a collision course once we get to NXT, which then leads us into our main event of Deadline, the women's, which I was so happy that they put the women's as the main event for Deadline. We had our women's Iron Survivor Challenge, in which no shade to the men, but like, this was a stacked match with all the people we had involved in this, because we had Ren Sinclair, Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, Zarya, and Sol Ruka in the middle of this match. Can I say something that's probably not is unpopular? I was happy that Julia, Stephanie, and Zarya are in this match. My MVP was none of those three. My MVP was Sol. Sol was my MVP in this match. Like, first and foremost, the Soul Snatchers that she were delivering to the women were awesome. But then she did a double, somersault backflip over the top rope, too. I was just like, oh, she's that girl. All right, Soul. As the match went on, my allegiances were waning, and I was like, do I want to root for Soul to win now? But Soul was MVP, but that's not to say, because the other women in this match did great. Ren, obviously, let's be real, Ren was there. She got pinned the most in this entire match, but she also got some points too, which was not too shabby. ultimately, this was probably the more nail-biting one because by the last 2 minutes, every single woman had a point on the board, and we were tied. So last 2 minutes comes around. Everybody is like a fighting video game where everyone starts spamming finishers as the last 2 minutes are in. We have so many near falls. Julia is able to get another point, and with 5 seconds left on the clock, Stephanie gets the 2 count on Julia with the surprise roll up, but does not make the 3rd count in time. And so your winner and your number 1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship is the madness herself, Julia. I want to say something though. So every woman got a point, and social media pointed this out to me, and I was happy they did. Stephanie is the only woman in this match who did not get pinned whatsoever, which means to tell me once Julia takes that title from Roxanne, I think Stephanie is first up to face Julia for the title, which I'm like, gimme, gimme, gimme.
Yes. Yeah, because I was rooting for my girl, Stephanie. I was just like, oh my gosh. But I agree with you on Soul. Soul, she was impressive in this match. Like more so than I thought she was going to be. I was like, I mean, I thought she was going to be, all of these women were impressive, but she was like, yeah, I agree with you. I thought she was definitely a standout. I was kind of surprised for a moment there. I thought she was going to win it. I thought, oh, okay, they're setting her up to win something. I mean, it was like, because she was just like boom, 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 boom. And I was like, dang, girl. And I was sort of like, oh, okay. And the choice was it was okay. I mean, I like Julia. I think Julia's great. I mean, she wasn't my choice, because Stephanie was my choice.
Right.
But
let's be real. The predictions hosed me at Deadline. No, I ended 1-4. This is the worst I've done this year.
I don't even know what mine were. I can't remember. I know this one was Stephanie was mine on this one. I know that, but I think Ridge was for the other one. So I think I probably didn't win any of mine, to be quite honest. But no, I thought this was my match of the night. It was it was right where it needed to be. The main position. My brain just shut down. Sorry. But yeah, this was great. I mean, it was great. And again, I thought, it's one of this match is one of those, it's like, you never know what the outcome's going to be, so
That's
even
what
I
we
was
said
just,
last year.
yeah, I mean, cause it was just like,
let's talk. Yeah. So, the men's main evented last year. I don't want to say that this was bad because I loved all the women involved. And of course, having women main events should be a common occurrence and not, the rarity of it all. But I will say they did a good job last year with the men's because, again, you never know what's going to happen. Of course, we figured that Trick was going to win anyways, but they made Trick work for that win because remember, he had 0 leading into the last 3. He had 0 points leading into the final stretch of the match. And then everybody started doing everything, and Trick ended up winning by getting the 3 pins in the last 2 minutes. And like we were yelling and screaming, or at least when we talked about it, I was yelling and screaming at my television when this was going down. And I'm not saying that this was a bad match, but there was no sense of urgency or storytelling going into it. I feel like this was used to showcase these are probably going to be the women that are going to hold this division when Roxanne and maybe some other women possibly get called over to the main roster. But Julia, Stephanie, Zarya, and Soul are like, to me, are going to be the 4 in the main title picture. But then you also had the likes of, Kalani and Gigi and Tatum and a surprise return person when we get to NXT because my little emo heart was so happy to see her back. But anyways, we'll talk about it. But I agree with you. This was probably, to me, a showcase. These are the women that are probably going to be on your television the most in 2025.
Yeah, agreed. Yep.
So.
Yep. And I'm very excited about it.
I am. We will talk more about all these women because they were heavily involved in the NXT show. So let's do a quick transition to get us over so we can talk about the December 10th edition of NXT. So 10-second dance break starting now.
Yeah. Here we go.
And we are now more comfortably in our actual NXT studio. So this review is going to kind of go by quick. We're probably going to only hit on the greatest hits of what we saw because we covered the pay-per-view and we're covering the show. We don't want to be here for 2 whole hours. So let us do the greatest hits of all this. So we open up. Julia says that she's going to take the title from Roxanne. Roxanne comes out, says that the dream is over. Poor Jade joins Roxanne, tells Julia that Stephanie's not going to be coming out because they took care of her and we showed like Stephanie is beat up backstage. Of course, Kalani comes in though to even the odds, and 2 things get set up from this. 1, Roxanne versus Julia at New Year's Evil in January in Los Angeles. I'm still debating if I'm going to go. And we get our main event is going to be Cora and Roxanne versus Julia and Kalani in the main event. Stay tuned for more. Stay like Nancy Drew. Stay tuned for Danger. Then after this, we get our first match of the evening. So again, we're going to go greatest hits and then we'll give our quick thoughts with all of this. I was pleasantly surprised. This is probably my favorite match of the whole entire night, with the women's main event being a close second. But we get to Mr. Bouncy, Javon Evans taking on Wesley. God, this is a good match. And I'm like, it was free on my TV. God, it was so good. The craziest thing to me is Javon kicking out of the cardiac kick, which is Wes's finisher. And I was just like, oh, Javon's about to have a crazy 2025.
Yep.
But this match was so good. Both men did amazing.
Yeah, I hated this match. This was my match of the night. But I hated this match because I love both of these men and I want to see both of these men win. And I hate to see them go against each other. Because I love Wesley. Oh, speaking of loving Wesley, I love his new look, by the way. I love the cropped hair and the clean look. Ooh, got me a little steamy. But I love this match. Absolutely. My goodness, it was crazy. And I think that's why. I think it's because I love both of them. I just love them both as the wrestlers that they are. I think they're both super talented. They're super. They each have their own thing, and they they fight well together. God, I'd love to see them as a tag team. I think they fight well with each other when they're fighting one another. Like they just sort of flow. It's pretty. It was pretty awesome to watch. Actually, I just hate because I know one of them has to lose, and that's the part I don't like about them fighting one another. Because I didn't want either one of them to lose. I wanted them both to win.
I agree.
But I'm okay with either one winning. It was just like, it just means one of them has to lose, and I hate that.
But no, I agree with you. This was also my match of the night, with the women's main event being a close second.
Very close.
I was
second.
like, man, this was a great show. So next bullet point number 2, Axiom and Nathan are going to be busy next week. So within everything that happened, we get 2 segments with them throughout the night. One apologizing and making amends, and then the second part being getting matches made. So Axiom is going to be in the position that Nathan was at Deadline, because Axiom has 2 matches. Number 1, he's going one-on-one with Obafemi. So I'm like, well, damn, it's about to get crazy. And then he also has to team with Nathan to defend the NXT Tag Team Championships against the Gallus boys. So I was just like, 2 things are going to happen. One thing's for certain. Axiom is about to get destroyed by Oba. The question then becomes, if that match happens first, do the Gallus boys pull off a championship steal and win?
Ooh.
That I don't want to, we're going to wait until next week's show to see what happens with all of that, but there is a possibility. But again, Axiom's going to be pulling double duty, and he may need to be carried out on a stretcher by the end of the night.
Jeez,
Oh my
you're
gosh.
not kidding.
Next up, we talk a little bit about women's action. Solruka and Zarya are talking about Deadline and how excited they are. Zarya's accent makes me feel things that I didn't know were possible. Listen, y'all know that my crush is Miss Mommy Rhea Ripley. If you look at her and her accent, I'm just like, yes, Zarya, because you two are from the same area and they're giving me same step on me vibes, and I'm here for it. But they're interrupted by two people we haven't seen in a while, and I'm glad they're back on my screen. Miss Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, and we get a match between Zarya and Soul versus the Metaphor Girls next week. I've missed Lash and Jakara on my screen. They were in SmackDown, and then we haven't seen them, so I'm glad they're back on NXT television. I have missed my Metaphor Girls. All right, so now let's get into the wildness that is this, and I cannot believe I still have to say this. But we get into our next match, tag team matching, in which we have Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igwe taking on your everyday college frat bro white boys in Hank and Tank. I was like, not many wrestlers can pull off the jean jorts. Like, what is this gimmick? But this was a quick 5 match. This was a 5-minute match. This is a quick one. I figure Hank and Tank were going to go over because the crowd loves them, but I need more of Tyson and Tyreek. I've been saying it for the longest time, and even channeling Andrew, our co-host, because they started out and did a lot in Level Up, which is like the NXT dark matches before the actual tapings. Tyreek and Tyson were there. I thought they were fantastic, but unfortunately, Hank and Tank pick up the victory. And what I found very interesting with all of this too is that Tyson shook their hands, but Tyreek did not, and the fans booed them for it. I don't really have much to say about the match itself. It was a quick 5 minutes. Hank and Tank got over because why not? But give me more Tyson and Tyreek because I love them wholeheartedly. Cut to commercial. Obafemi, Trick Williams, verbally coming out. And then Eddie Thorpe interrupts. I was like, ooh, interesting development. Eddie Thorpe comes out and he accuses Obafemi of attacking him. Oba's like, bro, that is some wild accusations, but go off, sis, I guess. And then he does the funniest thing. He turns away from Eddie and continues to talk to Trick, and Eddie is still there. I was like, damn. Eddie gets no respect. But basically, this sets up Oba versus Trick at New Year's Evil, which then Oba leaves, and then Eddie and Trick go at it. I was like, ooh, something's about to go down tonight because this is an Eddie we have not seen. Eddie calls Trick out, saying that he's a sports entertainer. He's not a wrestler like Eddie. And so Trick tells Eddie to shut his ass up and knocks his ass down to end the segment. And I was just like, Eddie Thorpe, what kind of magic are we working with today? Because you have me intrigued, sir. And I was like, where are we going? Then the ending had me screaming at my TV and gave the gay finger wave because I was like, I've been played, but I'm here for it. Anyways, we'll talk about that reveal because that shit was genius. And I think this proves that Eddie Thorpe might be the smartest wrestler in NXT right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna save all the talking points for that because I'm like, ooh, NXT got me good with that. So after this, backstage, we have Miss Tatum's Hot, Paxley herself, and Gigi Dolan talking. And now that I've seen the episode, when I looked at the doll, I was just like, ooh, that's a new doll that Tatum has. I'm like, And I was like, I should have seen it coming. But Izzy Dame runs up on Gigi and Tatum and is like, listen, bitch, I still got beef with you, Gigi. And Gigi's like, oh, bet, we gonna fight right now. And then the Creep Squad show up, which is, Brooks Jensen, new third wheeling Rico, whatever his name is. And then, of course, Sean Spears. I love that Izzy did a back off. She's like, bitch, you want a problem too? I'll fight all three of you right here, right now. And Gigi's like, Tatum, we gotta go. We got a match to do. Let's do this. But I love that Izzy did not back down and she was ready to fight the dudes too. I was like, you go, Izzy, you fight the dudes. Which leads us into our tag team match. Again, very short, which I was kind of disappointed with in terms of not giving them a long time. But now it sets up a 3-on-3 feud, but Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley versus Fatal Influence, which is JC Jane and Jasmine Nix in this match. First and foremost, Jasmine, I am always here for your ring gear because while maybe not the most practical, it does look really great. So I was like, can those fishnet holes get any bigger? But anyways.
Oh, yeah, I know. Me too.
But let's talk about the real reason we were here, because unfortunately, Gigi and Tatum do lose this match to Fatal Influence. Gigi tries to make the save when Tatum gets beat down, but the numbers game is too much. It is 3-on-2. And then all of a sudden, blaring across the speaker says, welcome to the ball pit. You're about to get your ass kicked. Shotzi is back, and my little emo heart is so happy. Listen, I love her green, long braided hair. Like, that shit was fantastic. She has a studded knee brace, too. Did you see that? She has a studded knee brace. It's so punk. But Shotzi is back to even the odds, and it looks like we're going to get Fatal Influence versus Tatum, Gigi, and Shotzi forever how long we got. I say friend to the channel in my head, but I say this all the time. Shotzi and Professor have a prior relationship because they were both in some horror movies together.
Which is awesome.
Which is lovely. I'm so happy that Shotzi's back. I've missed her.
Me too. I freaking love her. Why was she gone? I don't even know why she was gone.
Okay, so she's been gone since February because remember, and we were still covering NXT during the first round. Remember, her and Lyra had a match, and during the middle of the match, she tore her ACL. So that's when Lash had to come out to finish the rest of NXT because Lash had wrestled earlier in the night, but then Lyra held an open challenge because Shotzi got hurt and tore her ACL, and we on live TV too, because remember she jumped off the apron and
I remember that. Yeah, I
got
saw
her. So then Lash came out to finish, and so she's been out with torn ACL, and now she's back.
How funny! I didn't realize she. Oh, how fun! I thought. I guess I just don't know because I'm not a doctor. I didn't think that it would take that long. I thought for some reason I thought she. I don't know. I don't know what I heard. Didn't matter what I heard. But yeah, I'm glad she's back because I freaking love her. I think she's amazing. Yeah,
now,
I was super excited.
Yeah. I hope we get the Tank entrance back.
Oh,
the Tank.
No.
I love the Tank.
Me too. I hope she hasn't changed anything about, you know how when they go away for a while, they're like, oh, I should like revamp myself because I freaking
anything, I hope it's extra graffitied out to make it look like, if anybody is familiar with Arcane with Gigi's aesthetic and Tatum's aesthetic, like Arcaneify it would be fantastic.
That'd be so cool. I would love that.
Shotzi's giving me powder vibes and I love it.
Oh yeah, seriously. Oh my god, that's great. I love that.
Oh my god. I am so happy that Shotzi is back. I don't care what nobody says.
Me too.
My favorite.
Me too. I love Shotzi.
I really, really do.
And I was really bummed when she had to leave because of the injury. I was like, oh, we just got her too. She had just come in.
Right.
She hadn't been there very long at all when that happened.
No. And I'm happy that she's, I know, but I'm happy that she's here back in NXT from injury, and I'm excited to see what we do with her. Yep. We then turn our attention to a North American Championship match that was made earlier in the show, because Ethan Page, you guys, is lost. He's lost, not in the sauce. He's just lost in thought, and he has lost his way, according to him. Because earlier in the night, you know, the family's like, damn, you are so sad. Let me offer you a match. And Ethan doesn't want it, and he's like, it's beneath me. I want to get back to the NXT Championship, not the North American Championship. And you know, Tony D'Angelo is just like, all right, if you don't want it, he yells at the rest of the locker room, hey, does anyone want a championship match tonight? And the whole locker room jumped on that opportunity, and Ethan's like, fine, we'll have this match. I actually really thought this was a pretty competitive match for under 10 minutes of what we got. But of course, Tony D'Angelo does pick up all ego Ethan Page, and Ethan is a very sad boy by the end of the night. Like, we see him later. He's like, I don't know what I need to do. He just walks off. into the night in the NXT parking lot, and I'm just like, don't get jumper kidnapped.
I know, right?
Because bad things always go down in the parking lot of NXT. There's not really much to say about the match itself. It was just fine.
It was all right. I mean, I think, any chance I get to watch Tony D'Angelo wrestle, I'm okay with it, especially when he has his shirt off. I'm all for it.
You naughty boy.
Yep.
Anyways, so we then get a random appearance with Lexis King talking to former football player Ryan Leaf, of all things, and I kind of just ignored it. I was like, I didn't really pay attention to this, so I'm like, whatever, it's fine. Which so then leads us. I know, it was kind of dumb. So we get our we get our cards, our match cards for next week. For next week, from NXT from Lowell, Massachusetts, we have an NXT Championship match with Trick Williams versus Eddie Thorpe. Nathan Frazier defending the titles against the Gallus Boys, and then Sol Ruca and Zarya versus the Metaphor Girls, which I'm excited about. We then get into our event: Julia and Kalani Jordan versus Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. I really liked this match, and I was glad that it was the main event. I love that this gave Cora Jade a much-needed win after being on a losing streak since her return.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like for me personally, I feel like Cora has lost too many matches since her coming back from injury, but it was nice to see her get a win here against an opponent like Julia and Kalani. That pop rocks that Roxanne hit on Kalani outside of the ring was devastating to watch. But I also liked it because it proves that Roxanne and Cora are being smart heels and trying to keep the other tag team partner out to do a 2-on-1. So before we get into after what happens to this match and what truly ended the show, it was probably my favorite part of it. Will, the main event match, how'd you feel?
Sorry. There it goes. My computer did something really weird there for a second. I mean, it was good. I liked it. I mean,
I thought it was a good television match.
Yeah, it was. I think it was good television. I mean, it was good watching. I mean, it was like it was good television. It's like, I mean, I don't really have a lot to say about it. I mean, honestly, yeah.
So let's talk about the real reason we're here, because
for
those of you who didn't watch it, because the CW live feed cut it off, so I had to make sure and go back and watch it. But the ending, as it was showing the credits as we go backstage, Ava's like, Eddie's signing the championship contract for his match against Trick next week. And Ava's like, Eddie, we're still investigating into everything. We're going to find out who attacked you. And Eddie's like, oh, Ava, don't worry about it. I know who attacked it. I know who attacked me. And Ava's like, what? I did. And it's just like, basically he says to the point, I took myself out of the match because I got to not have to fight it out for 25 minutes. And then I skipped 25 other men on the roster to get this championship match. And he hands the contract back to Ava, and she was pissed.
She was.
And then the screen goes off the air. Will, when I tell you that in the 5 years that I've been watching wrestling religiously, as I've had, maybe a little bit longer than this, it takes a complete swerve for my mind to be blown and to not anticipate this happening. Eddie Thorpe playing the fucking game and outsmarting management, outsmarting everybody on this roster, getting Trick to beat him up to get a chance at the championship match, and playing the victim of being, I'm always getting attacked. I never get the opportunities I should. So he made his own destiny, so to speak. And now he's getting this championship match against Trick Williams next week. My mind was fucking blown of how IQ this play was from Eddie. And if this is the direction where we're going to head with Eddie and his character of trying to be 3 steps ahead of everybody else, I am here for this development of his character.
Oh yeah, me too. because he's been, and this is so great because even I was like, well, I'm sorry, what? I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, you clever son of a bitch.
Clever girl.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Talk about manipulating the game. I'm like, holy crap. And I was not expecting that from Eddie Thorpe. And and this is what I love about it, because Eddie is such a lovable guy. I mean, you feel bad for him because all this crap happens to him left and right. And it's just like he's always being beaten down. And he always seems to be, and I have never once have I ever thought he was not intelligent or smart or clever. But the way he played himself in this whole thing was like, wow, you played yourself so, dare I say, dumb, that no one saw through it. Nobody. And when he revealed that he is the one that attacked himself, I was like, and then he explained. I was just like,
I gave the gay finger wag. I was like,
yeah.
yes, Eddie.
I was like, this man needs to be a champion right here.
I have been bamboozled, but I am not mad.
Holy crap. I was like, give this man something. I don't care what you give him something, because he played everybody. And I'm not going to give him shit for it. I'm not going to be like, oh, Eddie, you could be better. You're better than that. Hell no. Way to go, Eddie.
Especially everything Eddie has gone through with his feud from Dijak, and then getting that weird feud with Alexis, and then always being on screen, being put in the back burner, and then Shawn Michaels putting hands on him when he thought he attacked Ava. Like,
man, he played everybody. And you have to respect it. Because he played Shawn Michaels, he played Ava, he played Trick, he's playing everybody. And then he throws shade onto Obafemi. I was like, and then when he revealed his master plan, I was like, holy crap. And now here's my thing. Something better come out of this. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I hate to say this, but I think me and you both know he's not winning next week.
No, he's not winning that. No.
Now, if he does become champion, I'll be like,
me too. I will be floored.
Metaphorically and maybe literally, I may cream my pants a little bit. I'll be like,
trust me. First, I'll be like, what the fuck just happened? Then I'm gonna be
I will call
hell
you.
yeah.
I will call you like immediately. Be like, well, I don't know if you're watching it until tomorrow, but holy shit, this happened.
Oh my god! If that was to happen, I would.
I watch it. I'm gonna call you and be like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
but I don't think it's.
But we know that's not gonna happen. We know that's not happening.
I agree with you. I think after his match with Trick, I need to see where we go next and who he's going up against. Hey, but you know what? There's somebody else who's kind of similar in any means necessary. What if Eddie and Wes team up? Like, I would be here for it, because Wes is kind of going through a same character arc where it's any means necessary. And he's tired of doing the same things that everyone's expecting him to.
Wow. Ooh.
I'm not saying it's going to, but can you imagine? No, Eddie's character arc is similar to Wes's character arc right now.
Oh, that would be a sweet team up too.
I don't think I would handle myself if we got it.
All right, you hear what we're saying, Shawn Michaels? You hear us?
Ava,
you hear us?
Shawn Michaels, everybody on NXT, if you watch this, I'm just saying, it doesn't have to be forever, but
team those. Oh wow, that would be pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie.
That would be amazing. But yeah, Eddie Thorpe gets the Academy Award for playing all of us, playing the whole game.
Yep.
And I am so excited. I'm even more excited to see what comes and transpires of what happens in that championship match next week, which I'm hoping is the main event, which probably will be the main event, which means Eddie gets to be in the main event of an NXT episode, which is fantastic. I feel this is how Lexis King should have did the whole thing when he first came in. This is Lexis King done right.
Yeah. See, yeah, you're right. This is, and if this had been if Lexis King had done this, I would be 1,000% behind him. I would be like, yeah, dude, that's it. You come in and just throw everybody off. It's just, but he didn't.
He did not.
And I
That is
disliked
okay.
him. But now I'm starting to bend towards him. If he'd stop doing stupid promo crap and like wrestle and do his thing like he did at the pay-per-view? No, the pay-per-view. What was that?
The Go Home show, yeah.
Thank you. I was like, my brain is just shutting down tonight. Yeah, the Go Home show, then I'd be behind him 1,000%.
Oh,
But yeah, I'm here for
100.
this Eddie. I don't know what the hell Eddie's doing, but I'm here for it, and I 100% support Mr. Thorpe.
Me and Will are the heads of the Eddie Thorpe fan club and the Thorpe Enterprises.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. But that is going to be it for this week's NXT. I'm so excited to be back next week as the last show of NXT for 2024. Don't get crazy, y'all. We're coming back in 2025. But it is going to be the last NXT show of 2024 next week, which means we will be taking 2 weeks off for the Christmas and the New Year's holiday. And then what a way to kick off our first NXT of 2025, because we will be covering New Year's Evil. So we're going to probably get more matches made over the next couple of weeks, which has me super excited. But for myself, Will, our brother in arms, Macho, and the rest of the BC Wrestle Pod family, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay Bi-Conic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will catch you next time. Until then, sayonara, adios, and we'll see you later.